I want to talk to you today about what we call mission. What is your mission? What is your mission? And what does that even mean? So many times, as people begin to break away from things, people, places, situations, they feel an urge from the inside. They feel urgent about something. Sometimes it is sort of broad, something along the lines of, ta-da, I want to save humanity. And the good news is you're here. The even better news is that impulse that is generated from deep inside you is there for a reason. Everything you're experiencing is for a very valid reason. Sometimes good reasons, sometimes bad reasons. We're going to talk today about good reasons and what do we do with these things. Because sometimes what happens is it's hard to really feel out what that is. It's hard to understand what can I do or how would I go about it. And it has to benefit you, and it has to do something that I call win, win, win for everybody, including yourself and your twin flame. Now, I know sometimes people need to get away from the idea that there's someone else that you're connected to just so that you can breathe. But this is where it's actually important to understand that having the connection of love that you do is absolutely sometimes the missing piece that helps you to get successful, helps you to get on track, helps you to get the things that you need for your life, and helps you to bring what it is that you're here for. So we could genuinely say you are here for love and you are here for love. But yes, you live at the human level, and what are you supposed to do at the human level? Furthermore, are you supposed to have a backup plan? A lot of people feel that, and I'm going to say you're not going to need backup plans, but you will need to know how to do this because in some ways you're reinventing. Now, what about some of the other things that happen for you as the result of your spiritual awakening? You are gifted. Don't forget that. Your gifts are not just along the lines of being spiritually gifted, where you're maybe seeing that your psychic gifts open or you're a bit more intuitive or perceptive about things. That has to be there. That is actually expected to be a given for you. So if you're not there yet, fret not, do not worry. I'm here to help you bring that out, develop it, because you need to. That is how you will always need to do things, by using the new stuff, and by using the sense that God gave a goose, using your senses and sensibilities, in other words. Animals have to do certain things, and we certainly have that primal part of ourselves where we need some kind of shelter, we need sustenance, we need downtimes where we can just get rest. We need that stuff too. How do you balance that when you feel this sense of urgency or you're on fire and it's sort of hard to bring it out? What if you have questions such as, is what I'm going to do, is that going to affect my other half, the person that I love? Or what if I'm not doing something that has a positive effect on the person that I love? We're going to get questions answered about that. So I am running part 2 of my abundance class because abundance is much more than money. In fact, some people, don't like how corrupted money has become. But here, as we say here at the human level, money is very necessary to make life comfortable or for the things that you need. Not every place is able to barter. Some places you can. You can take a bushel of something and you can go there and say, hey, will you take a bushel of these vegetables in return for changing the oil on my car? And they might do it. But if you live in a metro area, you can't take a bushel of anything into the phone company. So you need a modicum of exchange that has been equalized for everyone. And even then, it's not all equal because you have different exchange rates. So what about that topic, and what about your well-being? How is this all tied together? How would you like to really be on the track where you are feeling really great about it? And there's all kinds of things. So I'm going to give you one example here in this that to kind of illustrate for you what it is that I'm talking about. If you join my class, we will be talking about how being in your passion and focusing on love will be abundant for you. I'm going to talk about why the law of attraction sometimes seems elusive for people who are twin flames, and why some of it just, no matter what you do, it just seems like somehow it eludes you. And that's not your fault. It requires a new way of doing something. So when, instead of beating your head against the wall, find out what are some of the new ways, because it will be that way going forward. It will be the quickest, expedient ways to start getting things on track for yourself. Many people have worries, they have concerns. What about your kids? What about a blended family? What about meeting up with your twin? How are you going to live together and care for your responsibilities? How's that happen? There's ways that you create that, and I will be covering that in here. What about what we call the divine masculine and the divine feminine, your inner king and your inner queen? How do you get the magic going that actually enables that other part of you to boost you, to provide for you? What about your queen? How are you using your feminine if there seem to be obstacles for you? Now, mind you, for a lot of women over, countless years of history, there have been genuine legal obstacles. You can't vote, you can't drive, you can't go somewhere, you can't own property, or it has to pass to someone else as an inheritance. All the laws are different, except for universal law of love. The universal law of love says that you shall be cared for. And we include in this, you have to care for yourself. You have to care about yourself. You have to actually be selfish in the right ways. And I've talked about this before, but for many women who are taught to be nurturers, you struggle with it. And for many men, they're sometimes taught the opposite. And then they wind up being called, everything from narcissist to covert narcissist. They become like that lone wolf that's just looking out for number one. How do those things match up with your inner king and inner queen if you're supposed to be together? You're supposed to have a lovely, balanced house, life, fun, and deep passion. I'm going to keep reminding you about the passion, because passion is really what it's all about. And you can't do a mission without it. Okay, you got to be fully on board with that mission. If you are feeling like, oh, time to make the donuts, time to get up at 4 a.m. and make the donuts. Okay, we used to have a commercial here in the United States about that. And the guy would just drag, because every morning he was like getting up to make the donuts. Some days are like that, but do you want every day to be like that? Some days are filled with the tedious minutia of the mundane, banal life we have here. But with your twin, everything can be exciting, even the laundry, even the children, even the making the donuts. Unless you're passionate about making donuts. And in that case, then that is what you shall have. But what about all the rest of us who don't want to make donuts? So we will use the queen energy. Your queen helps him to be the king, and vice versa. his king energy helps you to be the queen. There are ways to pull yourself up. We will be focusing on clearing and elevating to a new level. Now, one last thing, or one thing to mention to you about this is part 2 that I'm doing. So we already did part 1. It was great. We had great discussion. We got a little bit off track, but it was a great conversation. We had people from all over, which I love. I love meeting people from all over the world. It's just something I am passionate about because I'm a people person. As you can tell, I'm a people person. You can tell I'm not an artist. You can tell I'm not, the most technologically wizard person that I am. But I sure am a people person. And so when it comes to having a group with some questions and answers, we find out that everyone has a lot of the same hesitations, mild fears. These are not mortal fears. If there's mortal fear there, we will get it cleared. What about if you have a fear of family? Or what about if you have a fear of going into business for yourself and being an entrepreneur? That's the very first thing we're going to focus on. And we did do some of that in part 1, and people could already feel their energy moving. The stuff that lays over your heart, the stuff that feels nervous, the stuff that feels like anxious and hesitant, and where you have self-doubts, you doubt, and you say, can I do this? Am I up for it? Or your twin is doing it, and they're saying, I don't know if I'm up for this. Can I really juggle her or him? Can I really juggle all this and do this and make a living and take care of responsibilities and be able to have the mind-blowing out-of-body experiences that I somehow feel that we're supposed to have? Yeah, because you already have done this. And so part 1, get rid of the fears, hesitations, anxiousness, angst, nervousness, anxiety, panic phobia. Well, maybe not phobias because that's a whole different category, but small little panic attacks, nervousness where you're going ka-dunk, 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 I've got to go to the bank. Ka-dunk, 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 I've got to tell my family. Ka-dunk, 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 I've got to apply for a credit card. Oh my God, I've got to fill out a form. Those things happen all over the world, and I'm here to help you so that that can shift, because the fear of the unknown is a big factor for a lot of people. Elevating to a new level. If you are not expecting to bring yourself out of low vibrations where everyone else is skittering around being, snide and nasty, or where traumas are still happening, or there's corruptions, then you're not on board with this whole reason why we're doing this. I want to remind you of one thing. Pay attention. You and your twin are 2 people in this place that have the ability to bring the love in, to ripple it out. How do you do that? You only do it through the body. You don't do it through the lower chakras. You do it through the heart energy. You don't do it by sliding down to environments that aren't suitable for you anymore. It involves elevating to a new level. This new level means a new higher standard of living, a new higher standard level of health and well-being and emotional and financial well-being. That's a real thing. Some of you may sense it because there's no sense in shifting out of old stuff unless you shift everything. It can be overwhelming, okay? You have had lifetimes of learning, okay? You didn't just come here in this life and pop open and feel like the universe has to drop you on your butt. That's not what this is about. Lifetime, you are gifted and you've had lifetimes of learning. Lifetimes of learning about yourself and your gifts. Now it's time to put it together with your twin flame. Even energetically, if you have not met. That is my story, my backstory, and I will be telling my story here over the next several videos. For years, all I have to go by is really high level dreams of my twin flame. What if you only dreamed your twin? Guess what? You only have the heart to go by. And that's how I've created and discarded and cleared everything. Now, one last thing to mention about this is in part 2 and in part 1, I'm giving you an outline so that you can follow along. You can do some of the digging and really see what it is, where it's guiding you. Because each person, each couple is unique. You're coming back into your uniqueness. After lifetimes of interacting with others, you are coming back into your uniqueness. And that's vitally important. I am doing this webinar in 2 languages. It is with my colleague Wala Almutawa. And so I hope that this is spelled right. This is part 2. I hope you can see that there. That's the basic topic that we are going with in Arabic. I only know a few phrases and I only know a few foods, which I enjoy very much. And it's important because, we're not having a culture clash. We are having actually a great time learning that some of the same topics come up everywhere. Twin flames are twin flames are twin flames. And, we are actually helping each other. There is a synergism there that is helping people to not feel alone, not feel like, you're the only one with questions or hesitations or fears. We're all having it. And I like to think that, on one end of the, these countries over here and countries over here and countries over here, that everybody is helping to pull it up and elevate it. It's time for some elegance, right? Let's elevate it up to an elegant level again. I'm going to use an example, okay? Now, not everyone may have heard of this company, and this is just an example. I don't actually own stock in them. But if you take a company like Uber or PayPal, okay? So the thing about Uber is this is software. It's an algorithm software. But what this enables to do is see when things are busy. But it also automates a way for people to get paid. And you need a license, you need insurance, you need a vehicle. You can go work a side job doing this, or you could work a full-time job doing this. Now, this has put competition into places, but it's also in some ways raised the standard for some people. But someone had to dream this up and manifest it, meaning implement it and put it into action. That action is the electric energy. The gathering in is the magnetic energy. When you alchemize those two together, you got something. And this is what you're doing when you're doing the king and queen, masculine, feminine energy. It helps you put your stuff into action. Now, whether or not you love it or hate it, it has helped a lot of people in a lot of places. Or let's say PayPal. Long ago, people used to have to mail checks or wait for something to clear. It is now almost so instantaneous that when there's a bank holiday, people get upset. They're like, it should have been here in 30 minutes. And these automations, this is the concept of someone who was able to take it from that inspiration and move it into helping a broad number of people. It may not help everyone. In fact, they are banned in some countries. One more thing. If you want to join in Arabic, I have ordered something that is called VPN because you cannot get every program in every country. Some are banned. And before we get on the bandwagon about countries banning things, I want you to understand, some countries figure that they need to protect themselves, just like other countries do. And that sometimes just basic security, okay? I have a VPN license to enable streaming. It's good for a few other people to join if you're in a place. And I understand that reception on the internet is not fabulous everywhere, but we are doing our best. If you join, you get the recordings. If for some reason you cannot join live, you will get the recordings and the outline, and you'll be able to follow along. So if you want to bring things to a whole new level, the level that is now available for you, so that you can move things along, please join. Read the description down below, click the link, or email me. You can check me on twinflamebody.com or twinflamesmerge@gmail.com. Links are below. I hope to see you there. It's been a great group, and we'd love to have more people that, are seeking what is their mission. Because the first mission is love, and everything else stems from that. So thanks so much for watching. See you soon. Write me if you have questions. Bye now.